Hello everyone, welcome to Lackawanna College. If you're watching this video, you're probably a new student, or maybe you're taking an online class for the first time. Regardless, this orientation is going to give you an overview about exactly what you need to do in order to be successful in your online class. And it's going to give you an overview about how to navigate the portal so you know where everything is located. My name is Gopal Kiran and I'm the Director of e-learning here. And if you have any questions about anything that's contained in this tutorial, feel free to reach out to me. My email address is kirong@lackawanna.edu. So with that being said, let's get started. So one thing you'll probably notice is that the window where I'm speaking is probably going to get bigger and smaller depending on the screen we're looking at, just because I want to fit myself and not block off any text. So let's start off by asking the question, what is an online class at Lackawanna College like? Well, the first part is pretty obvious. It's taught through the internet. The second thing is there's no classroom meeting times. Everything takes place online. And the third thing is that there's no specific meeting times. A lot of students think that in online class you have to meet online at a certain time. Not the case over here. It's called an asynchronous experience, which means that you can work at whatever time during the day that you want. You don't have to be online at a particular time. And the fourth thing is that all your work, your assignments and your quizzes and all the projects your instructor is going to ask you to do is submitted through the internet. So there's a lot of really great reasons why people take online classes here at Lackawanna College. One of the big ones is that if you have a work or family conflict that's preventing you from taking day classes or evening classes here, online classes can be a really great alternative since you don't have to make that extra trip to campus. The other big one is that when we think about what types of skills are really valuable to employers these days, the types of collaborative skills that you'll develop by taking an online class are precisely the ones they're looking for. Things like collaborating together electronically, using email to connect with other people, or even just using things like Google Docs to put an essay together when you're working in teams. All really great stuff. The other nice perk is that by taking an online class, you'll be done in 7.5 weeks instead of the usual 15 weeks of the semester. Another great thing is that if you're taking a regular on-ground class here at the college, and for whatever reason you need to withdraw from that class, you may have the opportunity to take that class again in subterm 2 online and get a second chance to take that class in the same semester. Finally, a lot of students use the online format to take some additional courses in addition to their on-ground sections. There's probably more on this list, but these are probably the biggest reasons people take online classes. But with that being said, there's a lot of reasons that people take online classes that are more myths than reality. If you think that an online class is going to be easier than an on-ground class, you're in for a big surprise. Because everything that you have to do in an on-ground class, you have to do in an online class. But remember, it's jam-packed into 7.5 weeks. So some people even say that an online class is more challenging in some ways than an on-ground class. Number one, you have to be really independent. You have to keep track of due dates. You have to be very on the ball as far as keeping pace with the readings that your instructor is assigning. So that's something to be mindful of. The second thing is that if you don't have regular access to the internet or a computer, don't take an online class, because technology issues are not a good reason to not submit your assignments. And we're going to be talking more about that in the future. So what exactly do you need? Now that you've decided to take an online class, what do you need to prepare? Well, the first thing you need is technology. You need to be able to have consistent, stable internet access for at least 5 days of the week, and ideally every day. You also need a desktop PC, either a laptop or a Chromebook. Now, the reason we specify those three is because they all have keyboards. So the third point on here says that a smartphone alone will not suffice. A lot of students will try to use a smartphone to take the whole class, but you're going to be asked to do essays, research papers, and doing some sort of web-based simulations and stuff like that. These are things you can't do on a phone. So it's very important you have a keyboard-enabled device. The second thing you need is excellent time management skills. Like we said before, you're not going to have a teacher who's reminding you face-to-face every single class to make sure to hand in assignments. So you have to make sure that you're looking at the to-do lists every week, which we're going to go through in just a little bit, to make sure you're handing everything when it's due. The other thing is you got to be proactive when you're taking an online class. In a regular on-ground class, the teacher is going to be asking you, do you have any questions? Do you have anything you want to ask me? But in an online class, the responsibility is really on you to send those emails and get clarification on stuff that you're stuck on. The other thing is you got to make sure that you're signing on at least 4 days of the week. this is not the type of class where you can sign on one day and, think you're done. So remember to make that time to dedicate to the online class. The next thing you need to do is have all your course materials ready to go when you start the online class. Think about it, guys. It's very fast-paced, right? So if you don't have your course materials and you don't have them received yet, and week 1 passes, how are you going to catch up on the week 1 material, right? So make sure you have everything ready to go. Now, if you need to order any books, I'll show you exactly how to look them up. So the link to go to is lackawanna.ecampus.com. Let's go there right now. So what you're seeing right here is the lackawanna.ecampus.com website, the virtual bookstore. All you got to do to order your textbooks is go ahead and click this link right here called Shop Textbooks by Course, Order Textbooks. Go ahead and click that. You'll get to a page which looks like this. Now it's going to ask you which semester the course is in. Let's assume that it's fall 2018. So go ahead and click that, and you'll ask you to select a campus. Now you'll see 2 options here, Online 1 or Online 2. You're probably wondering which one do I click, right? Well, what you need to do is look at the course code. If it says OA or OB or OC or OD or any of those, that means it's a subterm 1 course. What that means is your course is going to run for the first 7.5 weeks of the semester. Now, if it says OM or ON next to it, that means it's a subterm 2 course, which means that it's going to run for the second 7.5 weeks of the semester. So once you figure that out, go ahead and click the corresponding box. Let's assume for this example, it's a subterm 1 course. So go ahead and click that. And now it's going to ask you to select a department. For this example, let's pretend that it's Accounting 105 that we're looking up. So we're going to click the ACC button. You're going to click whatever yours is. Then it's going to ask us to select the specific course. So for this example, let's pick Accounting 105 OA. Now it's going to say continue. Now, if you have multiple online courses, you can select every single one of them right here. So I'm going to click continue, and we're going to wait for the page to load. Now it's going to show us the required textbook. So for this particular class, we're required to have Financial Accounting by Warren Reeve and the third author. So from here, you can either buy used, buy new, and you can put whatever address you want to ship it to. Now, the final thing you need to know before you start an online class is who is your academic advisor. Let's go over that right now. So to find your academic advisor, the first thing you have to do is go to the portal website. The link for that is portal.lackawanna.edu, portal.lackawanna.edu. You should get to a page as to what you're seeing right here. Once you're on this page, you have to ask yourself a question. Have you logged into the portal before? If you've never logged into the portal before, you first have to activate your account. What you have to do is in the middle right here, it says, please click here to activate your account. Go ahead and click that. Now it's going to ask you to enter some basic information about yourself, and then it's going to ask you to set up your password challenge questions so that you can get your login access. For this example, let's assume you've already logged in. So just like me, I'm going to ask you to log in along with me. Once you've logged in, you'll get to the home page of the portal. And there's a few clicks you have to make in order to find your academic advisor. So once you get to the home page, what I'd like you to do is go ahead and click the Student Services tab on the top. You should get to a page which looks like this. Now scroll down to where it says Advising Information. Go ahead and click that, and you'll get to a page which looks like this. When you scroll down, you'll see a box on the right-hand side that says Academic Advisor. Your academic advisor's name will be listed right here. I don't see an academic advisor because I don't have an academic advisor, but you'll see an academic advisor's name right there. Now, your academic advisor's email address is going to be his or her last name, then their first initial at lackawanna.edu. So if your academic advisor is John Smith, for example, it's going to be smithj@lackawanna.edu. So if you ever need any help in an online class, like say you are really struggling, you need to reach out to someone or something like that, definitely send an email to your academic advisor. But we're going to go over something else in the next slide that's another great resource for you to reach out to. Now, if you guys don't remember anything from this orientation, at least remember this slide because it's super important, okay? So we have something called the Student Success Team. Now, by becoming a student at Lackawanna College, you picked a great college because we're really committed to making sure that we give you guys all the resources you need in order to be successful. If you need help, we've got a team of people ready to help you. So the student success team is composed of 3 people: the academic success coach, the student success and tutoring coordinator, and the dean of student success and retention. The academic success coach is a great resource if you feel like you need help with time management or your organizational skills or anything related to the skills you need in order to be successful. You can set an appointment to meet with the academic success coach by emailing studentsuccess@lackawanna.edu or academiccoach@lackawanna.edu. But studentsuccess@lackawanna.edu is the go-to email address to reach out to any of these people altogether. Okay? The student success and tutoring coordinator is the person who oversees our tutoring services. So if you need someone to kind of help you with the course content, kind of help you to explain some concepts you might be having trouble with, that is again, we have that resource available to you. We also have the Dean of Student Success and Retention, who's another great resource for you. So again, please write this email address down in your phone or your notepad or your calendar, anywhere where you're going to see it regularly: studentsuccess@lackawanna.edu. Because if ever in the course you're feeling like you're falling behind and you need some help, just send an email to studentsuccess@lackawanna.edu explaining your situation a little bit, what you might need help with, and these people will reach out to you and get you the help you need, okay? Since we're on the topic of student support resources, I want to show you guys one more thing. So if you go to the portal homepage again, and on the left-hand side, you'll see a link called the Writing Center. So go ahead and click on that, and you'll get to a page which looks like this. Now, in case you guys don't know, the Writing Center is a really great resource to help any student who wants to become a better writer become a better writer. If you take a paper that you're working on or anything writing related, one of the writing consultants at the Writing Center will kind of work with you to help organize your thoughts and your ideas so that you can independently work to make your writing better. Now, they're not going to do your papers for you, but they can definitely help you in that process of writing. The one thing I will say is that you need to make an appointment with the Writing Center. So if you go to this link, lackawanna.mywconline.com, you'll get to this page, and there's a button here called Register for an Account. Go ahead and click on that. There's a short form that you have to fill out. Just set a password, things like that. Once you're done, click Register, and then you'll be brought back to this screen right here. Go ahead and log in with your email and password. Once you're inside the Writing Center, you'll see a bunch of boxes. This is a way that you can set up a time to meet face-to-face with a writing consultant. Now, if you're taking an online class, chances are that you can't make it to campus for a face-to-face visit. Not to worry. There's actually an option in this Choose a Schedule drop-down box called Online Writing Center, as you can see right here. This is a way where what you'll do is you'll set a time to meet with a writing consultant online. What you'll do is you'll log in at that particular time that you register for, and then you'll upload your paper. And then through a chat window exchange, you'll actually kind of type your feedback back and forth. So your writing consultant will kind of give you some real-time feedback. So that's definitely something to check out if you're someone who may need some help with your writing. So now let's get started with the actual course exploration. So go ahead and scroll down, and on the left-hand side under Quick Links, you'll see a link called My Courses. Go ahead and click that, and you'll see all the courses which you're currently signed up for listed here. So as an example, I'm going to pull up one of the currently running online courses so that we can kind of go through what the different parts of the online course are. So what you're seeing to your right now is an Intro to Philosophy class, which is taking place right now here at the college. So as soon as you click the course, you'll get to a page which looks like this. So the first thing to look at is on the right-hand side, there's a section called News and Announcements. This is a place where your instructor is going to be giving class announcements. Anything that's important, they'll usually post it over here. So think about this as like a first day of class type of announcement that your instructor is going to give to everyone. So that's the first place to always look at in an online course. Every week, generally, the instructors will post a different announcement regarding the assignments, the homework, or just in general some points that they want to convey. Once you've looked at that, the next thing to always look at is this section in the middle right here called the to-do list. This lists out every single assignment that you have to do that particular week in the course. So with that being said, let me now explain how the online courses are set up. So the online courses at our college are all 7.5 weeks long. So they comprise different units, okay? Now the easiest way to think about this is that every week represents one unit. So our units, our weeks, run from Monday to Sunday. So every Monday, you're going to get a new unit with a new set of tasks on your to-do list. So every week, you should be sure that Monday that you check the to-do list so you know for that week what you need to do. We also have online courses set up as subterms. So there's a subterm 1 and there's a subterm 2. The entire fall semester at the college is 15 weeks, but our online courses are only 7.5 weeks. So our subterm 1 courses run for the first 7.5 weeks, and a subterm 2 course will run for the second 7.5 weeks of that semester. So when you look at your course schedule, you'll first see that your course either has an OA or an OM next to it. Now it might have OB, OC, or ON as well. But basically, if it says OA, OB, or OC, as you can see right here at the top, next to the course name, then that means it's a subterm 1, the first half of the semester, okay? Now, if it says OM or ON, that means it's a subterm 2 course and it starts halfway through the semester, okay? So just pay attention to that so you know when your course starts. So the next thing to do when you first come into an online class is look on the left-hand side for a link called the syllabus. Now, in case you don't know, the syllabus is a document that the instructor will give to all the students in the class, which explains the course policies, what the learning objectives are, and what your expectations are as a student. So let's go ahead and click that, and you'll see it shown here on the left-hand side. Now, you'll see the instructor's contact information, name, email, phone number, and below that, you'll see the objectives. This is what you will gain as a result of completing the course. So let's scroll down a bit further. There's one more section I want to emphasize to you. It's called the online course attendance policy. Now, just like an on-ground class, online courses also have an attendance policy. And the way we define attendance is by participation. So you can go ahead and read this if you'd like. But in a nutshell, basically, if you do not post in any of the discussions or you do not submit a content-related assignment for an entire week, from Monday to Sunday, you risk being dropped from the class. So we always emphasize, please be sure to submit your assignments and to post in the discussions, which we're going to talk about a bit more, because if you do not do that for a whole week, you're going to be dropped from the class. So just be mindful of that, okay? So now that we looked at the syllabus, let's look at the discussions. So on the left-hand side, go ahead and click discussions, and you'll get to a page which looks like this. Now, the reason it looks very stretched out right now is because I've made the window wider, because remember, students' names are in here and I'd like to keep this private. So go ahead and scroll down to week 1 if you're following along with your course, and go ahead and click week 1 discussion question 1, and you should get to a page which looks something like this. Now, what you're seeing here is called a discussion prompt. So for this particular class, the instructor is asking in week 1, in your opinion, why is philosophy important and how can you use it in your future career and current life? Give specific examples. Now, the discussions are pretty unique in the sense that we're currently going through a change where we're going to create a standard new discussion format that all courses are going to abide by. So this is kind of a transition semester for us. So some instructors might still be using the older format and some instructors might be using the newer format. So as a student, it's very important for you to look in the syllabus and in the news and announcements section, because your instructor is going to be communicating all this, as to what discussion format your particular instructor is going to use. So what you're seeing right here is the newer format. So if you're in a class which is using the newer format, this is what you'll see. So it says here, initial post instructions. Responses must be substantive and incorporate support from the week's readings and so on. So you are required to submit your initial response to the 2 questions by 11:55 p.m. on Wednesday. So basically, this particular class, you're required to make an initial post. There's an add post button that should be visible here when you're a student to answer this question, okay? Now, when you make a post, you will see that your post is showing up as a row over here, okay? Now, by the end of the week, if this is the new format that your class is using, you'll have to make 2 responses to your classmates in this particular thread, okay? So that means that you will have to read some of your other classmates' posts and make 2 replies to them by that Sunday. Now, your instructor may require 3 replies, or maybe 2 replies, or 1 reply. All of that information is going to be found right here in this section, okay? So it's very important that you read that and also read the syllabus, because all of this is going to be outlined, okay? Now let me show you an example of the old format, just in case your instructor is using that. Now, what you're seeing to your right is an instructor who uses the older format, which is a little bit different, okay? The main thing with this format, if your instructor is using the older format, is that you're required to make 8 replies to your instructor's post over 4 different days, okay? So what that means is you can make 2 replies on Wednesday, 2 replies on Friday, 1 reply on Saturday, and 3 replies on Sunday. As long as it adds up to 8 and that the replies are spaced out over 4 different days, you're good to go, okay? So again, the difference is that the newer format requires an initial post by a certain day, for example, Wednesday, and requires 2 or 3 replies by Sunday. And the old format requires you to make 8 replies over 4 different days, okay? So let's just show you an example of this. So let's go to this is the old format, remember, okay? So we're going to scroll down and click one of the discussions. And you can see right here, there's nothing posted in the topic section because it's the older format. Go ahead and click the instructor's post. You'll see the question written in a post. You'll have to click the reply button, and you'll have to do that 8 different times to your classmates or your instructor by the end of the week, okay? Does that make sense? All right. Remember, the 8 replies have to be spaced out over all the discussions in that week. A week 1 and a week 2 discussion that be spaced out over it, all right? So if you have any questions about that at any time, your instructor is the go-to person. So I can't emphasize that enough. If you're ever confused, you're not sure what the requirements are, please email your instructors with the question. And if it's a question that's regarding the format or the layout of the course itself, you can always reach me at my email address, all right? So let's continue with this. So now that we talked about the discussions, let's go back to the home page of the course we were looking at previously. So as you can see here, there's some assignments and tasks that are at the beginning in week 1, okay? So when you start a class here at Lackawanna College Online, these tasks are the same no matter what class it is. They're preloaded, okay? They're considered non-content related courses, assignments, and you have to do them regardless. So its first one is complete the Academic Honesty Pledge. Then we have an About You biography, a course syllabus quiz, and a course navigation quiz. So let's go through these individually. So this right here is the Academic Honesty Pledge, and all you have to do is read this short quote and basically affirm that you will maintain academic integrity in all of your work in the online classroom. So all you have to do is click Discussions, go to the Academic Honesty Pledge under week 1, copy this statement right here, put your name at the top, and then simply make a post with that affirmation. The next preloaded assignment in week 1 is the About You forum. All you have to do is go to Discussions, click the Let's Get to Know One Another discussion thread, or section I should say, and make a short introductory post just introducing yourself to the rest of the class. So as you can see here, one of the instructors has introduced herself, and you will do something similar. Just give a little bit about your background, where you're from maybe, what your interests are, that sort of thing. The final 2 preloaded assignments that are not content-based are the course navigation quiz and the syllabus quiz. So the syllabus quiz is a short quiz just to make sure that you've read through the syllabus. It's going to ask you some simple questions about online courses, and it's a 10-question or something quiz. Very straightforward as long as you read the syllabus. And the other one is the course navigation quiz, which is going to ask you some simple questions about different areas of the course navigation. And by watching this video, you're probably going to be all set with that. There's also a time management planning extra credit exercise, which you can also give a try if you would like. Now, the other thing I want to tell you is that sometimes you'll have an assignment which requires you to upload a paper or something of that nature. For example, your instructor may say an essay is due on Sunday. So the way to submit it is by going to the assignments section, okay, and then looking at the corresponding week. So for example, let's say you have a paper that's due in week 4. You'll click Assignments, you'll scroll down to week 4. Actually, let's say week 5, and you will click Mini Paper 4. You'll go ahead and click the link, and you'll get to a page which looks like this. Now, this is where you can get information on the assignment. So as you can see here, the instructor has given some directions for how to do the paper, and then there's a file that's attached here. It says Mini Paper Rubric. So this apparently is how you will be graded on the assignment. Now, let's say you finish typing up your paper and you're ready to submit the assignment. What you'll do is you'll click the Upload a File button right here, and you'll get a pop-up window which says Choose a File. So you'll click Choose a File, and then you'll go to your folder wherever you saved your paper and upload the file, just like how you would send an attachment if you were sending an email to someone. Once you do that, you will click Add File. So right now I'm just going to go and upload something hypothetical. So I'll go ahead and click Add File, and you'll see a window that looks like this, okay? Now, a common mistake that students make is that they do this and they think they're all set and the assignment has been submitted. Not exactly the case. You have to click this big blue button here that says, if you are finished, turn in your Mini Paper 4 exam. So that's what you would need to click, okay? So don't forget that. So now that we finished talking about that, I want to just touch on some other parts of the online course. So let's go to the left-hand side here and look at what we didn't cover yet. So we have some section called resources. Let's go ahead and click that. So resources is an area where your instructor can upload any documents that he or she wants to communicate with you. Generally, it is organized by the weeks. As you can see, there's a week 1 here and so on. So for example, if your instructor says, watch the PowerPoint link or something like that, or watch the PowerPoint video that I uploaded in course resources, you would click here, you would scroll to the corresponding week, and you would download the file. Let's go to the next section. Let's click grades. Okay, grades is where you would go in order to see your grade in any particular assignment or quiz. Now, as you can see here, we're seeing an F because I'm not actually a student in this class, but in your case, you would see your overall grade along with any individual grades for assignments. Okay, so let's go to the next section, calendar. Calendar is a great place where you can see the due dates for any assignments or quizzes that you have coming up. Now, a handy thing about the calendar is that it aggregates all the due dates from all of your classes all in one place. So that's a very useful place to keep track of assignments. Let's go to the next part, course information. Okay, so if you click this, you'll get information about the instructor of the course. So as you can see for this class, this is the instructor and this is the link for emailing that particular instructor. And you also get a little course description on what the class is about, along with the learning objectives, which is the same stuff that we saw in the syllabus, right? So let's go to the next section. We have course mates and chat. Okay, now I'm not going to show this section only because I want to protect the students who are in this particular course. But if you click that, you can see the email addresses and contact information for any student in that class along with a picture of them. Okay, so let's go to learning tools. That's generally not typically used, but if your instructor is using like some kind of learning module or something, that may be a place to click. Your instructor will let you know though if you need to access that. And finally, I just want to say a couple of general things before we wrap this up. The most important thing probably in this tutorial is to know how to check your Falcons email, because let me tell you guys, the Falcons email is how your instructors are going to be reaching out to you. So it's super important that you check that very often. Generally, it's your first name, period, last name, @falcons.lackawanna.edu. That's your Lackawanna College email address.